Imagine a small, idyllic island where 10 people live by fishing. Each day, they catch roughly 10 fish, and wealth is distributed so evenly that the Gini coefficient, a measure of income inequality, is close to zero. This is a community where everyone starts on equal footing, and hard work yields similar results for all. One day, a clever and somewhat lazy fisherman named Alex upgrades his equipment. With his new gear, he can now catch 30 fish a day. No one on the island criticizes him, they acknowledge his ingenuity. He's simply the first to excel through efficiency and innovation. Alex begins to store his extra fish, using the time saved to improve his tools further. While others still toil daily, he's already using his surplus to expand his production. This is the essence of efficiency gains driven by technological advancement. Later, Alex builds a small boat venturing into deeper waters. His fishing efficiency increases tenfold compared to the others. He's no longer on the same starting line. He's entered a resource compounding cycle. More resources lead to higher efficiency, which in turn generates even more resources and greater efficiency. Meanwhile, the others continue to rely solely on their labor. 10 years pass and the island prospers, but wealth is now concentrated in the hands of a few. Alex hasn't exploited anyone, he's simply outcompeted others in the market through technological innovation and superior efficiency. This illustrates how wealth disparity can expand, almost irreversibly, even without direct injustice. It demonstrates that without intervention, fairness is rarely a natural outcome. It's a choice made through systems and institutions. This is where the role of institutions and political choices becomes critical, often leading to significant political disagreements. To understand this better, let's look at the American political landscape and how its two major parties approach wealth disparity. When confronted with widening wealth gaps, a Democratic president might argue that this is a natural trend. The wealthy have numerous avenues to grow their assets, while the less fortunate have limited opportunities. Therefore, they contend the government must intervene to support those struggling, perhaps by imposing higher capital gains taxes or providing basic social safety nets. Presidents like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton have often advocated for such policies. Conversely, a Republican perspective might argue against direct redistribution, asserting that wealth disparities are a byproduct of different stages of technological progress and economic development. If these issues arise during growth, they should be resolved through continued development. They might advocate for policies that aim to bring manufacturing back home, restrict immigration to protect domestic workers' rights, and impose tariffs on foreign goods. President Donald Trump exemplifies this approach. In essence, Democrats tend to focus on secondary distribution, while Republicans often prioritize primary distribution. What exactly are primary, secondary, and tertiary distribution? Let's break it down. Primary distribution can be likened to a large platter of food on a table. Those who run faster, are stronger, or possess better tools get a larger share. This is market distribution. It's impersonal, rewarding skill, efficiency, innovation, and resourcefulness. It sounds fair, doesn't it? You earn what you deserve based on your abilities. However, the critical caveat here is that an equal starting point does not guarantee an equal outcome. In political philosophy, fairness has two meanings: formal fairness, equality of opportunity, and substantive fairness, equality of outcome. Market distribution emphasizes the former, assuming everyone has the strength, ability to run, and that the rules are fair and the competition is open. But in reality, some people spend their entire lives running toward Rome, while others are born there. This is where secondary distribution steps in.
Secondary distribution enters the scene when the race for resources is already underway. Imagine a referee noticing that some participants have fallen or are struggling. The system intervenes, saying, "Wait, let's help them up." The government, through taxation, social security, subsidies, healthcare, education, and transfer payments, aims to reduce overly large disparities. The goal isn't to make everyone equal, but to prevent anyone from being completely left behind. Beyond this is tertiary distribution, which relies neither on the market nor the government, but on the voluntary actions of the wealthy and the social responsibility of entrepreneurs. Figures like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are prime examples. Buffett famously pledged to donate 99% of his wealth during his lifetime, believing that giving back to society shouldn't be an option, but a responsibility. Bill Gates has for decades channeled his efforts and resources into global health, education, and poverty alleviation, impacting countless lives across many countries. These actions are not mandated by tax laws or legal requirements, but are voluntary contributions to resource redistribution. Both market-driven primary distribution and government-intervened secondary distribution share a common underlying assumption that people primarily earn wealth through labor and income. This assumption held true for a long time. However, in recent decades, the dynamics of wealth disparity have undergone a fundamental transformation. Labor income is no longer the primary driver of wealth growth. The true determinant of wealth today is whether you own assets, and more specifically, whether you can participate in the financial system and ride the wave of rising asset prices. Finance has become the true watershed of our era. Today's wealth gap isn't just about who earns more, it's about whose wealth is growing faster. Those with assets see their wealth appreciate through real estate, stocks, and bonds. Those without assets are often limited to income from wages and physical labor. The rules of the financial system revolve around assets, not labor. Consider this. Someone earns $50,000 annually, while another earns $30,000 but bought 3 houses in 2015. 10 years later, who was wealthier? This illustrates the fundamental shift from an income-based disparity to an asset-based chasm. What's more insidious is that the rules of finance often solidify class structures. Those with ample funds can leverage their assets, borrow, and engage in more sophisticated financial operations. Those with less capital are often relegated to being consumers, passively sinking deeper into debt or being pushed down by inflation. When inflation rises or interest rates change, asset holders can adjust their risk exposure, while those without assets are often at the mercy of economic forces. In other words, the real wealth gap isn't found in a paycheck, it's on a balance sheet. We are witnessing a peculiar phenomenon. Economic growth seems robust, stock markets and real estate are booming, yet the majority of people find their wallets increasingly thin. This isn't due to a lack of effort. The rules of the game have changed. Therefore, financial literacy is more critical than ever in today's society. It's not about teaching you how to get rich quickly or become a financial guru. It's about helping you understand the fundamental nature of these new rules. Understanding concepts like debt, leverage, and why your property hasn't appreciated when others have is crucial. Knowing who is most impacted when interest rates shift empowers you. Only by grasping these core principles can we avoid being subtly harvested while working hard on the surface.